Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our next matchup for UFC 322. In this one, we have a battle of prospects in the bantamweight division as Malcolm Wellmaker takes on Cody Haddon. Wellmaker is undefeated at 10-0, currently in the UFC 2-0 overall, both by devastating knockout. Meanwhile, Cody Haddon is 8-1 in the promotion, currently 1-0 in the UFC. Actually been gone for a while. Haddon's last fight was Dan Argueta back in August of 2022. Or sorry, what am I saying? 2022. 2024. So, been a while since Haddon's last fought in the UFC. Now, I know he was originally scheduled to take on Tuporia's brother, Alexandre Topuria, but had to pull out due to injury. Meanwhile, for Wellmaker, he has been a prospect to watch in this bantamweight division. He seems like he can do some real things. Got legit one-punch knockout power for this division. You've seen it in his knockout of Cameron Simon and of Chris Moutinho, both of which, one in April and then the other in June of this year. And man, that right hand is dynamite. It looks like it has, just the off switch with that, specifically his signature right hook. But now this is short notice for Haddon. It was originally supposed to be Side City versus Wellmaker. Unfortunately, City dislocated his shoulder, so Haddon stepping in on short notice. Which, at least Haddon finally getting a fight this year for sure. But man, he's got his work cut out for him. But then again, both are prospects. One, I think, is a bit more well-rounded. The other one is much more dangerous. But without further ado, let's continue on. Without further ado, let's break down their styles. For Wellmaker, he fights with so much purpose and power. I cannot emphasize you enough how, one, big this guy looks like for the 135-pound division, and two, how dangerous his power is. I mean, at 5'10", he is huge. And 10-0 for a very good reason. What really stands out is the manner of those victories. Multiple knockouts in his first rounds, showing how good Wellmaker's timing and just those finishing instincts are. When Wellmaker comes out, he's not very tentative. He's very aggressive with his setups, throwing feints, mixing maybe a kick or a body shot, but mostly waiting for the opportunity. And that right hand is dynamite. I mean, Cameron Smotherman took a lot of punishment from Payman Talbot until he got finished in the second round. It took Wellmaker under 2 minutes to knock him out with a counter right hook. And Wellmaker is very good at leveraging his reach and height to give him some at this division, especially standing at 5'10", and he knows how to create enough space to land the heavy shots. If there's one risk I have for Wellmaker, it's while his striking has been impressive, he is still relatively new at this level, 2-0, and you think he's fighting Cameron Smotherman, who's one of the smaller bantamweights on the roster, and Chris Moutinho, who honestly I have no idea why they brought him back, other than Wellmaker wanted to fight in his home state of Georgia, and they found Moutinho and gave Moutinho another chance just for that to happen. And just because he's undefeated does not mean he's untested. If someone can withstand Wellmaker's early shots and drag him into the deep waters, into those late rounds, into the grueling clinch, or take him down, then there's definitely going to be some questions for Wellmaker. But, so far so good. And so far he has the tool set and the mindset to avoid those scenarios. One thing I do love so much about Wellmaker is that setup. His right hook is definitely his best punch, and he fights out of mostly southpaw, but he can throw it in orthodox. You've seen it with Moutinho's where he was in southpaw, he throws up a knee, kind of goes to orthodox, it looks like, and then swings the right hook to knock out Moutinho's. And then for Cameron Smotherman, he threw it more as a counter left hook with not even that much wind-up per se, but enough power that it just blew Simon off his feet. Now, looking at Cody Haddon, like I said, a fellow prospect, a little smaller than Wellmaker at 5'7", but his style is very dynamic. And 8-1, multiple knockouts and submissions to his name. Now, granted, his last 2 wins have been decisions, both Dana White Contender Series and Dan Argueta fight. Cody Haddon fights at a pretty high pace, very aggressive, likes to move forward, and mixes his striking with takedowns or at least clinch threats. It's very comfortable but when things get uncomfortable. As you know, Haddon's faced, I feel like, a bit more adversity, at least at this point, in comparison to Malcolm Wellmaker. And for even with just 2 decision wins, currently speaking, in his last 2 fights, Haddon is a good finisher and will engage. And the fact that he has nothing to lose, I mean, think about it. He's taking on some short notice against a much more high profile prospect. That mindset, like, often gives an edge, and like energy and just that risk taking. But for Haddon's like weaknesses, his range is shorter, which is going to be a huge thing in this fight, especially against a knockout artist like Wellmaker. He's less proven against someone who can impose his power early. I'm pretty sure that Wellmaker is the hardest, is shot for shot hitter / knockout artist that Haddon's fought in his whole career. And if he eats a hard shot, or if he spends early rounds defending instead of attacking, his decision wins or point wins may not be enough. And also, in high-level bantamweight striking wars, being shorter and reactive rather than controlling distance can be a great liability. How these two meet in the middle? Well, it will be mostly a fight around controlling the space and controlling the tempo. Wellmaker is going to want to establish his striking, show his power early, and create openings before the fight becomes a prolonged grind. He's going to use good feints, set up his right hand mostly. That is his signature weapon, is that right hand. And search for the moment when Haddon will hesitate or drop his guard. Haddon, on the other hand, is going to want to neutralize the threat early. He was going to want to close distance, force engagements where Wellmaker has less time to load those power shots, and perhaps drag the fight into the clinch or mix in a takedown attempt to change the rhythm. And if Haddon can make this fight messy early, force Wellmaker to react and defend, he disrupts the whole game plan and kind of disrupts the game plan of Wellmaker. As you know, this Wellmaker is, I wouldn't say so much a sniper. He will move forward and unload with combinations, but it's clearly that he's more on the patient side, especially in trying to set up his strikes. Now, one particular key hinge moment: if Wellmaker lands hard in the first minute, Haddon is in danger of not just getting knocked out, of also playing from behind. And if Haddon survives early without taking major damage, then I think his pace and energy are going to be a huge asset in this fight. Another hinge: depth of the fight. If the fight extends into round 2.5 minutes, half of round 2 and onward, I think Haddon's youth and finishing type mindset could give him the edge in this fight. But if he's not too beaten up by then, that's the big key factor here. For me, I think Wellmaker is going to land his strikes early, maybe take 1 or 2 shots, but he seems to have a good chin for the most part. But overall, dominates the space, keeps Haddon in position where Haddon in his offense is very restricted, set up loads of power, and either finish off or get a decision based off damage alone. But my official prediction, I gotta go Malcolm Wellmaker. I believe his strength I believe his strength matches up very well against Cody Haddon. The power, the reach, his own finishing instinct, all tilts in Wellmaker's favor. Haddon is dangerous, and his confidence will be high, but he's stepping into the ring with someone who has done everything right so far and has shown he can finish quickly and decisively. So I gotta go welcome Wellmaker. I gotta go with him by knockout, limiting Cody Haddon's opportunities in winning on the cards, or just outright knocking him out like he's done to everyone else so far. If Haddon were to win, he'd have to avoid the big shots, turn the fight into his tempo, and make the fight long. But there's too many variables for me to give him that. 1, this is short notice. 2, he's been off for a year. And 3, Wellmaker seems to be such a sniper with that right hand. And while he's not a sniper-esque in the terms of just fighting off his back foot constantly, it seems Wellmaker is very well versed in throwing his right hook, whether it's off his back foot or he's the one moving forward or setting it up with other strikes. I just think Wellmaker's too good with his timing, and I think he's going to knock Cody Haddon out. So once again, my official prediction, I'm going with Malcolm Wellmaker, and I'm going to pick him via knockout. With that being said, that's been my prediction of this fight. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win. With that being said, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.